Palace and the Whitney Houston Foundation have come together for a small collection releasing this Friday, November 13th, ooh, spooky, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure if anybody was expecting a Whitney Houston collaboration. I'm not sure if there's a certain event going on. This might be around the time of year that she died. I think it was in 2012 when she had an accidental overdose and drowned, I believe is how she passed. That being said, we'll get into it. If you see me looking down here, I'm looking at what you guys will see now on the left-hand side of the screen. So the first piece we get a look at is this varsity jacket coming in the Chiefs colorway where you have that gold on the red. On the sleeve, it looks like we have some type of animal. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like a tiger or a dog or something, but you can clearly see we have Houston printed across the front, Whitney Houston, and then on the other sleeve we have a patch that has the Palace P with kind of like some wings coming off it, and then on the top I believe it says equipment. This is a pretty basic piece, as is the trend with the majority of this collaboration, so there's not a whole lot to mention right here. We flop this over on the back and we have Whitney across the back, which I suppose is kind of a flip. Usually on the backs of sporting apparel you have the last name of the player. This time we have Whitney on the back and then Houston up front. So an interesting flop, I suppose. Moving on, we have an opened up view which just shows off the satin type material liner and then the snap button closures. Also, it's very hard to notice, you guys might not be able to see it, on the very bottom cuff on the opposite side of the open jacket, the one that isn't covered up by the jacket, you can see a little Whitney Houston signature. Next up we have the long sleeves or crew necks, though I think these are just long sleeves. Following the same pattern, we just have Houston on the front, and then we have that Palace equipment patch here. We also get kind of like an athletic label, very similar to what we see on a lot of champion stuff on the bottom part of the garment. And then moving forward, we have another colorway showing off the back view of that product, which once again has Whitney across the back. So you get Whitney on the back, Houston on the front. And if you thought stop there, you are wrong, because we do get a third colorway, the one we saw before, which is just the Chiefs colorway coming in that gold on red. So that's the long sleeve. Really just not a whole lot to talk about for these pieces. It is what it is. There's not a whole lot of detailing gone into it, I suppose. Moving on, we have the first of two t-shirt designs. This one following suit for everything we've seen thus far, has Whitney on the back. Go to the next colorway, we have Houston on the front. There's no patches on either of the sleeves, which is kind of interesting. And then we have it in, of course, the last colorway that we've seen, this black and red colorway, which if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick this black and red colorway. It looks exactly the same as this Triferg that I'm wearing right now, so it looks like the same colorway. Red's my favorite color, and I'm not really digging the Chiefs colorway or that like baby blue or like kind of teal on white. Even though I am from Kansas City, I've never been kind of like a huge fan of that colorway. Or I live in Kansas City, I suppose. I'm not from here technically. Next up, we have what I'm sure is everybody's favorite piece of the collection, the second of the two t-shirt designs. We have the Whitney Houston album cover from her self-titled project or self-titled album, just Whitney. This is taken directly from that album cover where she's obviously seen wearing a white tank top, and then they photoshopped a Triferg on it, which is actually also cropped out of the image, so kind of adds even more subtlety to it. It's not really loud in your face like some of the other Triferg integrated pop culture items that they've dropped in the past. And this is definitely my favorite, not in this colorway. We have the red colorway, we also have a black colorway, but in this cream colorway, this is my favorite by far. I love this colorway, I like this design. I always love seeing them integrate the Triferg into pop culture images. You have like the Terminator stuff. Mad Max, though, I didn't really like that. That's just kind of like another reference that they did. They have Forrest Gump, and the list really just goes on and on. Have last but maybe not least, these baseball caps. We have Houston branding, just exactly the same as stuff we've been seeing before. They really went for a sporting like style with this. We have the athletic arc to the fonts that they've done, but we just have it coming in the black and red colorway. You get that patch on one side. We have it in the Chiefs colorway that we saw, and then here's a back view of it. You have Whitney on the back following suit with everything else we've seen thus far. I will say I'm not the craziest about that like leather strap that they have in the back. Almost looks a little like cheap, but maybe that's just me. Here's the back view of the red colorway, and maybe they're not doing a white and blue one since we only have the two teased here, but that is it for the small collection. So after basically no research, I found out this is actually commemorating her inauguration into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as well as all proceeds will be sent to the Whitney Houston Foundation, which is kind of obvious, Palace does a lot of charity donations and things like that. The try to help Triferg that I'm wearing right now being a perfect example of that. As far as the collection goes, or the collaboration, I'm not exactly sure what the overlap will be for Whitney Houston fans and Palace fans, especially since the branding of the collaboration or collection is so kind of minute. I think the Whitney Houston Whitney album t-shirt will probably be the one that goes first. It'll probably have some resale, and I think that's by far my favorite piece. I think a lot of people will probably side with me on that argument as well. Anyway, what do you guys think of the drop? Are you Whitney Houston fans? Are you going for it? If you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, or don't do any of that. Just watching it means enough to me. Thank you for watching, as always, and I will catch you in the next video.